Happy Friday, everybody. We're on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange with Jim Cramer to break down today's market action. All right, Jim, a little bit of negative red on the screen here.
This is Apple. Katie Huberty is the best analyst, said there will be a meaningful cut to the consensus. I have said we did trim Apple, just so people know. We did trim some Apple right here, actually, not in the 170s. But that was more of a function that Apple, we trimmed Alphabet, we trimmed Facebook. They were too big. We didn't get great prices, but we did what we had to do. And I think that Katie has been spot on. It will be interesting to see. She is saying buy it after the shortfall. What you really have to hope is that there will not be a shortfall, but not because they won't be down. A shortfall comes from when everyone's expecting down, and that's why the stock is being softened. Not unlike when my dad was 9 hot landings in the Pacific, where the destroyers and the battleships soften up the beach so that it would be easier to land. And I think that that's what's happening with Apple. It's being softened up.
The main worry is China demand?
China demand, but there is... I also fear boycott China. I'm very worried about what China's going to do. I will be less worried about Apple after it reports. Obviously, Katie, so strong. Even after the stock was down big yesterday, she has such a following. Morgan Stanley takes it down again.
But you still like the services story. I guess that maybe that doesn't matter.
Let's see the quarter.
Okay. Also, Jim, I want to talk about last night on Mad Money, the race to $1 trillion. It may not be Apple for market cap.
Right. I am convinced that more and more that it'll be Amazon that could break out, but I said it's too early to tell. We're in the midpoint of the race. Not necessarily, we're seeing what I was concerned about with Apple right here, right now. And once they're finished with the quarter, I think that it'll be clear that Apple has joined the pack of Alphabet and of Amazon and of Microsoft, particularly if Amazon and Microsoft report good numbers and Alphabet does the number, which is all Alphabet has to do.
You also had a great interview with the Nucor CEO.
Yeah, John. John is John Ferriola. He's saying, listen, we may have announced tariffs, but let's see them implemented. John is very, very strong about really saying we don't know whether they're going to be put in place the way we want to, that more than 25% of the quarter in first quarter was still steel being dumped here, basically. China is the principal culprit. He wants China, the president wants China, everybody wants China in the steel industry to stop it. Just stop using that industry to produce jobs and close those plants that are the cost of capital is too high, or if not, tack on 25% tariff to level the playing field. And all that would happen if you tacked on the tariff is that you'd be selling at the same price as Nucor. So there'll be excess, don't worry about it, and the prices will not go up that much. But at least it'll be level. And countries that come in under Nucor, when Nucor has the most efficient and best mills in the world, those countries have to be punished. I agree with them.
Yeah, you toured one in Louisiana.
Yes, I went to their DRI, which is a plant that uses a novel technology. They also use it in Trinidad. It's been very hard to get the plant to work, to be smooth. This quarter it was smooth. The importance here is that it doesn't use scrap, and it's a gigantic mill, so it's keeping the price of scrap down. Typically, there are a lot of different divisions of Nucor, but they use scrap for most of the mills. They got 7 new projects coming. They are a dominant steel company that has been undercut repeatedly by China. That must end. That must end. And the president has to follow up on what he said.
All right, Nucor, reminder, holding of Action Alerts
Yes.
Plus. Jim, tonight on Mad Money, I'm sure you'll go over your game plan for next week.
Yeah, we also have First Horizon. That's the hottest area in the country, of course, First Tennessee. Hottest single area in the country. He's got the best growth book in the country. And then Waste Management. We did own Waste Management for Action Alerts. We got concerned. Waste Management produces a lot of recycled paper. The Chinese were buying it, and they're no longer buying it. So we felt that the story was not as good. But it's a great company, and let's hear what they have to say.
All right, that's tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern on CNBC. Meanwhile, Jim and I are going to continue talking about stocks on ActionAlertsPlus.com. Please join us there.